Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the OK Grognard Show. It is Sunday, August 30th, 2020, 9:30 a.m. Central in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Rules Retrospective Day. We take a look back at some of the early rules and discuss them in that context. We've been going through the first edition AD&D Advanced Dungeons and Dragons classes. We've done all the fighters and subclass fighters. We've done the cleric and the druids. Last week was druids, and this week we're going to start looking at the thieves. Now, I am not going to dip into the old books. Thieves obviously got introduced with Greyhawk. I don't feel like going back and checking that out. I'm going to stick with just looking at it straight from first edition. Maybe we'll take a dip back, but there's another thing on the another thing worth discussing here, in that I do not use assassins. I don't have evil in my campaign, so I don't use assassins as a player character class, which is what we're looking at as player character classes. And truth be told, anybody who takes money and goes out and murders people as a profession is an assassin. It doesn't matter if they're a magic user or a druid. Well, druid really wouldn't do that, right? Whether they're a thief or a fighter. So the class itself having a name, I know. Anybody picks up a weapon, hits somebody's a fighter, right? No, that's not even. Let's not go there. So in the name of evil, since I don't use evil in my campaigns or don't allow it in player characters that are in my campaigns, then assassin obviously off the table right away. Monk's off the table too. Maybe at some point when I'm done with all the other ones that I do allow, we will take a week, a show, to discuss the two I don't, which are the assassin and the monk. Good that we're starting with thieves then. And then we get into magic users, then we get into illusionists, which are always problematic, in my opinion. They're just tricky to play and tricky to run and tricky to allow someone to play and to run with something like that in the mix. So we'll discuss some tricky things there. And I usually have a pretty good discussion with a player who's interested in playing an illusionist in a campaign before given the green light on it when somebody wants to pick up that character class. So unlike all the rest, which is like, oh, you want to be thief? Okay, write her up. Fighter, magic user, cleric, druid, even paladin. I give somebody a quick heads up on the possibility of losing their paladinhood, and once they lose it, it's permanent, and they just become a fighter. So I say, well, you've got to be very, very careful. Rangers, of course, are pretty rare, but pretty straightforward. I don't have to explain a lot. But with illusionist, you really have to have that conversation about how illusions work. Can somebody simply, as a player, just say, I don't believe? And if so, do they get a saving throw? And if they're taking a saving throw, hasn't the DM confirmed in some way or other that what's being dealt with is an illusion, and therefore it's a little bizarre. Remember, there was a Conan episode, I think the third one, where he goes to a tower which is completely built on illusions, and the creatures he runs up against are illusions, and him and his companions are fighting against these things, and then they have to escape once the illusion is all broken. The illusory effect is all broken. They have to make a hasty retreat because this tower was it requires something physical in that in that writing of it, or that rendering of an illusionist. There need to be something physical that could be transformed into something else, because it was a transformation in effect. So basically, a huge pile of mud was turned into a wizard's tower. And once the illusion was broken, the transformation reverted, and they had to get the heck out of there before this big pile of mud came down on them. So that's an interesting way of running illusions. But anyway, that's something for a conversation for a couple of weeks from now. Let's talk about the thieves, and let's talk about them now. Let's go right into reading about them here in the Player's Handbook, where their section begins. The profession of thief is not dishonorable, albeit is neither honorable nor highly respected in some quarters. The major ability for a thief is dexterity, and a character must have not less than 9 to become a thief. High intelligence is also desirable. Any thief character with a dexterity greater than 15 gains the benefit of being able to add 10% bonus to experience points awarded to him by his or her referee. A glance at the character ability section preceding this will reveal that high dexterity also benefits thieves in the performance of their class functions. These functions are detailed a bit later. All thieves are neutral or evil. Not in my campaign, strictly neutral. Although they can be neutral good, rarely, and of lawful or chaotic nature. And I'm really not big on chaotic neutral. Most people just pretend that's a license to do anything you want, which is essentially them wanting to act evil but not being allowed. Most thieves tend towards evil, but it's not dishonorable. He says that right up front. Okay, well, let's go further. Thieves are principally meant to take by cunning and stealth. Thieves have 6-sided hit dice. They are, however, able to wear light leather armor and use a fair number of weapons, although they fight only slightly more effectively than do magic users. They are able to use stealth in combat most effectively by backstabbing. This ability is explained hereafter. The primary functions of a thief are picking pockets, opening locks, finding and removing traps, moving silently, and hiding in shadows. These functions are basically self-explanatory. The chance for success of any performance is based on the ability level of the thief performing it. This is modified with respect to picking pockets by the experience level of his or her victim, and by the powers of the observer with respect to hiding in shadows. These functions are detailed as follows. Number 1, picking pockets or folds of a garment or a girdle also includes such activities as pilfering and filching small items. It is done by light touch and sleight of hand. Morning, Lost Nomad. Number 2, opening locks includes figuring out how to open sliding puzzle locks and foiling magical closures. It is done by picking with tools and by cleverness, plus knowledge and study of such items. Number 3, finding and removing traps. Finding and removing traps. Acronym FARTS. Anyway, pertains to relatively small mechanical devices such as poisoned needles, spring blades, and the like. Finding is accomplished by inspection, and they are nullified by mechanical removal or by being rendered harmless. Number 4, moving silently, is the ability to move with little sound and disturbance, even across a squeaky wooden floor, for instance. It is an ability which improves with experience. Number 5, hiding in shadows, is the ability to blend into dark areas, to flatten oneself, and by remaining motionless when in sight, to remain unobserved. It is a function of dress and practice. Secondary functions of the thief are: number one, listening at doors to detect sounds behind them; two, ascending and descending vertical surfaces such as walls; and three, backstabbing those who happen upon the thief in the performance of his or her profession. These functions are described as follows. Number one, listening at doors includes the activity at other includes like activity at other portals such as windows. It is accomplished by moving silently to the door, pressing an ear against it to detect sound. 2. Ascending and descending vertical surfaces is the ability of the thief to climb up and down walls. It assumes that the surface is coarse and offers ledges and cracks for toe and handholds. Number 3, backstabbing is the striking of a blow from behind, be it with club, dagger, or sword. The damage done per hit is twice normal for the weapon used per 4 experience levels of the thief, i.e., double damage at levels 1 to 4, triple 5 to 8, quadruple 9 to 12, quintuple 13 to 16, so on and so forth. Note that striking by surprise from behind also increases the hit probability by 20%, plus 4 on the thieves to hit die roll. Additional abilities which accrue to thieves are: number 1, all thieves, regardless of alignment, have their own language, the quote-unquote thieves' cant. This language is known in addition to others, which may be learned because of race and or intelligence. Number 2, at 4th level, burglar, thieves are able to read 20% of languages, and this ability increases by 5% with each additional level of experience until an 80% probability is attained. This enables the possible reading of instructions and treasure maps without having to resort to a magic item or spell. Number 3, at 10th level, Master Thief. Thieves are able to decipher magical writings and utilize scrolls of all sorts, excluding those of clerical but not druidic nature. However, the fact that thieves do not fully comprehend magic means that there is a 25% chance that writings will be misunderstood. Furthermore, magic spells from scrolls can be mispronounced when uttered, so that there is an increasing chance per level of the spell that it will be the reverse of its intent. These primary and secondary and tertiary functions are displayed on a table thereafter. Thieves cannot build strongholds, as some other classes of characters do. They can, however, build a tower or fortified building of a small castle type for their own safety, but this construction must be within and not more than a mile distant from a town or city. Any thief character of 10th level or greater may use his small castle type building to set up a headquarters for a gang of thieves, and he or she will accordingly attract from 4 to 24 other thieves. However, this will bring the enmity of the local thieves guild, and they will struggle to do away with the rival organization. Once begun, warfare will only end when and if all the master thieves on either or both sides are dead, or if the thief character removes to another locale. Morning, Lexi. Let's look at the table. Experience. We looked comparatively at the different increases. This one the fastest. 1250 doubled to 25, doubled to 5, doubled to 10, doubled to 20. Goes a little farther here by more than doubling to 42.5. Then, not a big increase at all, right? 70,000, that's 27.5. Then, just up 40 to 110, but up 50 to 160, up 60 to 220, and then doubled to 440, and then adding another 220 to 660. So it's really all over the place. It is not a consistent or exponential increase in that regard. That's through level 12, but note at level 10 they cease getting more 6-sided hit dice and just add 2 extra hit points per level. That's mentioned right below. Experience above 12th level, 220 added, 220,000 for each additional level. Let's look at the titles. Rogue, parenthetically apprentice. Footpad, Cutpurse, Robber, Burger, Filcher, Sharper, Magsman, Thief, Master Thief, 11th level, Master Thief, 12th level, and then so on. Magsman, Sharper is probably not that unusual. Not so rare a word that people wouldn't look at that and say, oh, Sharper, okay. Maybe they would. Filcher, I think, obvious that it's somebody who steals something, right? Sharper and Magsman might be a little archaic for your game group. Always loved this image. What a classic. And we're going to skip Assassin. So these are the base chances to do all of those abilities. Notice the progressions on them. 30 to 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, up by 5% every time for pickpockets. Up by 4% up to there, up to 4th level for open locks, and then it's up to 5%. 5%, 5%, 5%, 5%, 5%, 5%. So a little weird there. 20, 25, 30, 35, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Up 4% here. I don't know why. Obviously, they're not afraid. Look at the point percentage. There's always a chance to fail, right, on climb walls. But it's not like they're afraid to put a 3-digit number here, because they do it over on pickpockets, right? But they kind of top it out for move silently. So there's always a chance of failure. Same with hide in shadows. Same with climb walls. Find and remove traps. Open locks. Pickpockets goes higher, of course, because of the aforementioned opposition of the level of the person who you're picking the pockets from and their chance of catching you. We go back to dexterity and look at the addition to percentages, but first let's take a look at the race of the thief. Dwarf, elf, gnome, half-elf, halfling, half-orc. I don't allow half-orcs, just saying that. Don't use them in my campaigns. But notice the gnome and the dwarf, no help with picking pockets. Halfling, 5, 5, 5, 10, 15, 5. Minus 15 on the climbing, minus 5 on the read languages. That I don't know about. That's kind of strange, right? It kind of flies in the face of their humble, bookish nature. Maybe it's a lack of urbanity. I don't know. The lack of worldliness. They don't have a lot of experience in that sort of thing, so they haven't seen a lot. How would they pick up on that sort of thing? I don't know. Dwarves are great at finding and removing traps. And gnomes are pretty good at it too. Elves have a problem with locks. So you've got some odd percentages in here, and it's worth checking them out each time you have fork. Only bonus on climb walls, more strength perhaps. Yeah, man, maybe. Maybe that could well be. Biggest lack in read languages, right? But everybody's got some blind spots. Each different race has some places where they excel, and they have some places where they're left off. Obviously, humans, the baseline, so they're just no plus, no minus on any of this stuff. So there we go. Regarding the thief function table, well, I'll tell you what. This chunk here, yeah. Percentage dice are rolled to determine whether the thief is successful or not. Here, let's bigify this, huh? Any score equal to or less than the percentage shown for the appropriate level of thief performing the designated function will indicate success. Picking pocket fails if a score above the percentage shown for the level of the thief attempting the function is generated. If the score is 21% or more above the number shown, the victim notices the thief's attempt. The potential victim reduces the thief's chances for success by 5% for every level of experience he or she is above the third, minus 5% at fourth, etc. For example, a high-level thief, Master Thief, 12th level, is planning to pick the pockets of a magic user he has noticed nearby. The base chance for success is 100%. The thief is a half-elf and adds 10% for racial ability. The thief also has an 18 dexterity, so the score is another 10% added. This totals a nice safe 120%. Can't fail. However, the victim happens to be a 12th level also. And so, subtract 9 times 5%, minus 5%, minus 45%. This brings the chance down to 75%, a good chance. But if 96%, excuse me, I had to clear my throat, 96% or higher is rolled, the thief will be noticed, and success gains an item from the victim. The item is determined at random from a list of possessions unless the exact location of a particular item is known by the thief. Opening locks may be attempted by any given thief, but once per lock. If the score generated exceeds the adjusted for ability and race base score, the thief has failed, and no amount of trying will ever enable him or her to succeed with that lock, although the thief may try again when he or she has risen to a higher level of experience. Success opens the lock. Finding removing traps is accomplished in exactly the same manner as opening locks. Roll for each function separately. A trap must be located before removal can be attempted. One try only per thief is allowed. Success deactivates the trap. Moving silent can be attempted each time the thief moves. It can be used to approach an area where some creature is expected, thus increasing chances for surprise, or to approach to backstab, or simply done to pass some guard or watchman. Failure, a dice score in excess of the adjusted base chance, means that movement was not silent. See surprise. Success means movement was silent. Hiding in shadows cannot be accomplished under direct observation. It can be accomplished with respect to thieves with infravision, only if some heat-producing light source is nearby to the creature or to the thief attempting to so hide. Success makes the thief virtually invisible until he or she moves. Note, that the spells such as detect invisibility or true seeing will reveal a thief hiding in shadows, if such sight is directed towards him or her. Hearing noise is simply listening intently. The thief and his or her accomplices must themselves be quiet, but not silent, as in moving. This function can be repeated as often as desired. It requires a full minute to listen, 1/10 of a normal turn, or time equal to a melee round. Note that sleeping creatures, undead, and many other creatures that do not make sound discernible through a portal. Note that sleeping creatures, undead, and many other creatures do not make sound discernible through a portal. Success informs the hearer that someone or something awaits beyond the portal. Climbing walls is attempted whenever needed and desired. It is assumed the thief is successful until the midpoint of the climb. I thought that was interesting. And I kind of skipped that because I guess that's the only one point at which it becomes important. I don't know. At that point, the dice are rolled to determine the continued success. The score in excess of your adjusted base chance indicates the thief has slipped and fallen. Your referee will inform you what amount of damage has been done from the fall. Success indicates that safe ascent or descent has been accomplished. Note that in some cases, a third D10 will have to be rolled to determine the success or failure. That is for the point percentage afterwards. Just be sure to add the decimal point. Reading languages can be attempted but once. Failure, a score greater than the percentage shown for the experience level of the thief, means the language is not understood. No amount of reading will make it comprehensible. However, the thief can try again with each new experience level he or she gains. All right. Well, there's a thief in a nutshell. That is quite the thing, huh? Discussing this further, let's just take a minute. Climb walls, very interesting. The midpoint check, yeah, right. I forget about that sometimes. It seems a little cruel in a way, right? I mean, not that that's a bad thing. Secret checks. If the player's character would gain some knowledge from the result that that player character shouldn't gain, then the DM should probably be rolling that percentage. Because it's very hard for players, once they have something in their head, to play their character as if they don't have that knowledge. And we know that just from simple things. Moving silently in particular, finding and removing traps. These are things that failure or success of which the player should not be aware. And therefore the player can't roll those dice. They have to be rolled in secret by the DM. Some people don't do this. They think all players' roles should be in the hands of the players. But I disagree with that. So no matter what edition I run it with some secretiveness. Anywho, that about wraps us up for the day. We'll come back. We'll talk more. Maybe we'll catch up a little bit. I don't know if we need to deal with the ability scores. We know they add percentages. The higher, the better. That is about it for the Thief, then. So let us just say thank you very much. If you're here, and if you are here, please do follow the channel. If you're following the channel, jump into the stream chat, because what we do every week is make sure, and we got a new week starting here, Lost Nomad and Lexfire. We give away something every week. And next week we'll probably continue to go with the virtual Gamehole Con badges, because those have been good to us and we like them. And So if you're here, follow the channel, chime in on the stream chat during a live stream. If you're catching up with us over on YouTube, oh, GameholeCon, yeah, keep thinking about submitting events for that, for virtual GameholeCon. Don't forget, tomorrow, Monday, weekly news and announcement, cartography and world building on Tuesday, campaign discussion on Wednesday, GMing tips on Thursday, building adventures on Friday, GM reviews on Saturday, then back around to rules retrospective. Next Sunday, we'll look at the magic users. Thank you again for being here. Thank you if you're on YouTube. Subscribe if you are. Give us a thumbs up. Maybe give us a little comment in the comment section. Constructive criticism, always appreciated. Everybody, you have a great day. We'll be here 9:30 a.m. tomorrow and every day doing the OK Grognard Show from beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. So there you go. Bye-bye.